Sometimes my burdens are more than I can bear. Sometimes my burdens are more than I can bear. Sometimes I feel like they ain't going nowhere, nowhere. That's the song I wrote.
You wrote that? Mm-hmm. I like that. I thought it was like an old blues song.
No, I wrote that.
Sweet.
I can't remember. There's another verse I can't remember. I think like when I was young, like in middle school, I started having this thing where, I mean, and we were kids. It's not like today where kids are just up whenever until they get tired. When we were kids, bedtime was 9 o'clock, 9:30. So you had to be in bed, lights out. We didn't have televisions and all that stuff in our room. So, you know, like total darkness at 9 o'clock, 9:30, laying there. And that was the worst because you couldn't play music, couldn't do anything, you had to be completely quiet. And me being awake, I'd be laying there awake all night. Like, it was miserable. You know what I mean? So,
And ever since then?
pretty much ever since then. Pretty much ever since. I mean, if I sleep like 2 hours at a time, then I'll be up for an hour or, you know, or 2 hours, and I'll sleep for like, you know, another hour or so. I sleep like that. It's like never like, you know, in a row. Like this morning I slept for about 3 hours straight, which is pretty good.
Would say like 3 or something like that? You writing songs?
Actually, I'm going to start playing some music. It's never when I'm trying to write a song or work on music. Because there's times when I feel completely bored and I say, oh, I'll work on a new song. Then no ideas come. And I end up just messing around. And it's usually when I say, okay, I'm going to sit down and rest now. Or if I have a couple of hours where I can take a nap, if I'm really sleepy, and that's when it happens. I'll lay down and go. And then all of a sudden, here comes a melody, and then, you know, and I'm like, yeah, you know, and it persists, and I have to get up and record it. You know, and sometimes it'll end there, and then I can rest, you know. And sometimes I'll hear just like a phrase, like a sentence that totally won't make any sense, and I'll hear it like right in the middle of the song. And if I record it there, then eventually it'll write itself this way and then write itself this way too. So I'll write, you know, one line, and then after I do that, sing that line, another line will come right in front of it or behind it or further down in the song. It's funny hearing that guitar like that lead guitar. I really like it. I'm like, wow, it feels like you're flying over top of the music. Yeah. It gives me, it feels like I'm like flying over top of the music. I mean, I'm glad I still play with kind of reckless abandon. I'm not being careful or measuring, you know, what I'm playing. I'm just playing, you know. And at the time that I'm doing it, you know, it feels really good because I'm just being free, you know. And then when I hear it back, I have that same feeling. Although I'm not playing it, I'm just hearing it. But I have that. It gives you that same feeling of like flying or being able to run real fast. Just imagine if you could run really fast without getting tired, and you're just running all around town. Like, that's what that feels like. Even hearing it feels like that. But it's funny. After all this time, it's still like you know, when it's almost time for a bus to come, I'm looking at the clock, and I'm always so glad to spend a few minutes even. You know, now she's a teenager. You know, I mean, she's gotten a lot quieter, and you know, they keep stuff to themselves a little bit more. So it's kind of funny. When you're on your own, baby, don't worry. You can call my name. I'll be there in a hurry. If you lose your way, I'll be here to receive you. Either night or day, I will never deceive. I used to do her hair every day from the time she was a baby up till about, you know, maybe 6 months ago. And so now she can do it herself, and she don't need me to do that. So I sit idly by watching her do it. You miss this time. You know, she's a great kid. She's a great kid. Is you ready? Where's your backpack?
On the back.
Oh, I gave you money?
Yeah.
Looked around, all of a sudden one day I was 40, and you know, all my friends were married, they had wives and houses, and I just had a gang of guitars and amplifiers. So, you know, I decided, okay, well, I'm going to get married now because it would be cool to have a partner. As it turns out, I don't think we were a good match. I don't think we really liked each other. And so, you know, she split like after my daughter's 3rd birthday, and I've been pretty much raising her since then. You know, I get that all the time. Yeah, every morning I see you in your front yard. So I'm just watching passing cars. The bus driver always waves at me. Maybe one day you'll get tired, oh so tired of kicking me around. Then maybe one day I'll rise higher than the fire that keeps burning me down. So, you know, there was like some sort of ragweed there that I was really allergic to for some reason, just the last time I went. And I got really ill, and started having, cardiac issues. I've always had, different cardiac diseases, and so ended up having a couple of heart attacks. And the agency I was playing for, although I had insurance, they refused to pay any of my medical expenses because it was a pre-existing condition. That thing that they love to throw on you so well. So I was saddled with, huge medical bills, and I took every bit of my savings and every cent I was working for at the time. So we ended up having to come back to Maryland to get myself together. When I got back, I was really sick. I'd had the 2 heart attacks, and I could barely even talk, let alone sing. So there was like a really hard time with like no money whatsoever. But my dad was really ill at the time, so we moved into his house.
Keep it to myself. I want to reach out to someone else. We got so much to give. Sweet gravity, please release me. Please release me.
Hi, brother. Good to see you. How you doing?
So I can fly.
We all getting old, man. It's all good. We're all getting old.
What you been up to, man?
Nothing, man. Just working, Trying to hit some right notes every now and then.
Yeah.
I tell everybody this, and he's sick of me saying it all the time. But one time I had a full-time job working at Anne Arundel Medical Center.
Yeah, you were hating that.
And I was hating that job. I hated it. And he's the person that told me, quit your job, man. Quit that job and play music for full time. And I was like, man, there's no way I can do that. And he's like, quit your job. He kept going, quit it. He said, you hate it. You're miserable there. Quit that job.
And used to work we'd play at Secrets till like 2 or 3 in the morning. Then you'd drive.
I'd have to drive back and be at work at 6 in the morning.
It's like
We're in Ocean City, and we'd play till 2 in the morning. I'd have to drive from Ocean City back here to be at work at the hospital at 6 in the morning, and then go back that same night and play again.
Play all over again.
Like
man.
do it 2 nights in a row.
Burning the candle at both ends.
Yeah,
Man.
and he convinced me to quit my job.
Yeah.
And that was the best thing I ever did.
Here you are, 20 years later.
Here I'm 20 years later with no job.
You need both, man.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, I agree.
See, a day like this will influence what kind of music I'll write later and play later on. In a clear, good day like this, with a nice little breeze, it'll make me make happy music. With some major chords for a change.
I didn't get my own guitar until I was 13, I think, and then just played every day, all day long. Again, it's all I thought about, all I ever wanted to do, and still to this day. I'm totally self-taught. I learned one string at a time, and then learned how to connect all the strings together just by listening to records. Then when I first heard Jimi Hendrix, I said that's why I flipped out over him, because here he was, he looked like me. But he wasn't playing like that soul music and wearing like a suit and tie and singing the lovey-dovey songs. He was going crazy on guitar. By the time I was like 15 or 16, I was writing my own songs, recording them on a little reel-to-reel recorder or any kind of recorder I could get my hands on.
They probably hate me. They're like, oh my gosh, she's here again. Thank you for accepting my friend request.
Yeah.
South Carolina, that's where we came from, just to come up to see these guys.
That never gets annoying. People are almost always nice, and that's what I play for. You know what I mean? So, like an hour ago, I'm going, God, what am I doing this for? Then I see some woman who, was like telling me how great my music is, and I said, okay, that's what it's for. That's enough for me a lot of times.
What about the other times?
Well, the other times, it's still enough for me. It's just not enough for Verizon or or if I got to get my car fixed or stuff like that. Then I think about it for a little bit. Only for a little bit, because then here comes the next song. I have one student who, she's a singer and she's a guitar player, and she says that's what she wants to be. She said, I want to be a singer and I want to be a guitar player. And I said, well, good, you've already reached your goal. You're a singer and a guitar player. She goes, no, but I want to make a lot of money and be on TV and go on tours. I said, so that's something different. You want to be famous. You know what I mean? So there's a difference between fame and being a performer or, an artist. I said, so you want more than what you are. You're already a singer, you're already a guitar player. If that's what you want to do, just sing and play guitar. You're choosing your words like a millisecond before you say them. Music is the same way. When you're improvising, you're choosing your notes. You're not just, like when I do that, I'm not just randomly playing. I know what the notes are going to sound like. So you want to get to that point to where you're not just randomly playing notes, where you actually know what they're going to sound like. It's like making little statements.
Can we do a song now?
All right, guys, so we're going to start, we're going to start with a new song. You get your words.
What is it called?
It's called, it's a blues song called Wake Me Like a Man.
I'm out. Wait.
You got a problem with that?
Wait, what's the song called?
The thing that gives me the most pleasure is sometimes if I show a student something and you see that light go off on their, in their heads, when they finally understand something and they finally can do something that they couldn't do when they came in the door. And when you see that, they're like so happy they learned something new. And that for me is the biggest thrill. When they get excited and say, oh wow, thank you, because that's something they're going to do forever. Here we go, 2, 3, 4.
Won't put himself above me, baby, just to love me like a man. Ever since
First time I did any traveling with guitar was with a choir. I played in my mom's church, and this choir was visiting, and they played too. And they were like a really raucous, loud choir, like in that scene from the Blues Brothers is what they did. And so my mom thought it would be safe for me to go, on the road with them a little because they were Christians and they were choir. She thought I'd be safe. But they were just like being on tour with the Sex Pistols or the Rolling Stones. They were as wild as any band I've ever toured with. But that gave me my first taste of it, and then from there, it kind of blew up. Still with my own band, but was fortunate to meet a really good manager who got me playing with, members of the Jackson family. And I played with Sheena Easton and from there, David Cassidy from the Partridge Family and stuff like that. And at that time, my favorite band was Parliament Funkadelic. And so I actually got a chance to play with George Clinton, which was like one of the most pivotal moments of my music career was looking across the stage and going, that's George Clinton right there.
I just got the signal. Mama Jama's ready to start their music.
Bethlehem! Somebody say yeah!
Are you ready? Okay, now, all the Lehigh Valley and Bethlehem, this is Mama.
One night I was playing in Armadillos in Annapolis, and as I was bringing in my amplifiers and stuff, there were two white guys sitting there in the bar, and they were looking at me, and they saw me come in, and they started laughing. Oh, we're gonna have rap music tonight, and they started going, and they kept calling me like Puff Daddy and all this stuff, you know, and they made all these crazy, you know, slurs, you know, because they thought I was black, and they figured, oh, he's gonna be a rapper or something. You know, and at that time I had a three-piece like hard rock band, you know, and it was just crazy. And you know, again, it hit me. I'm like, because of what color I am, they're trying to tell me what I'm supposed to be doing. I would go to New York with my music, and I'd walk in a record company, and literally everyone was the same. There'd be a girl at the desk, and you say, I want to see an A&R person, you know, to, you know, have somebody listen to my music. So they have one hallway that was called R&B, which meant black people, and another hallway which was called pop, and it was all white people. So she would see me and go, okay, go the R&B way. And I go down there, and there'd be all these, you know, these dudes down there, all these black guys, you know, and they were waiting for, you know, somebody with some music, what they considered black music, whatever that is, you know, but it wasn't my music. They were like, they'd hear my guitar, and they're like, oh my God, turn that noise off. I mean, literally, one of them said to me one time, turn that noise off. What are you doing, man? That sounds terrible. You're never gonna make it, you know, doing that stuff. And, you know, they, you know, rap was just coming out, so that's what they were looking for. You got any rap on here? You need a rapper. You need to get a rapper, you know what I mean? And, you know, and some stuff. And so that's, you know, so of course I got turned down every time. The other hallway, which my music was more, you know, like, I wasn't allowed to go down that hallway because, you know, I wasn't a white guy. You know, so that was, you know, really discouraging. And so I just started mostly just, you know, playing behind people. You know, I'd be in the background of whatever band I could get in. You know, and I even stopped doing my own stuff for a long time, for a few years actually. About 2 years ago, this guy I'd known for a long time. I mean, he worked at Arista Records. They were a really big record company, and they had turned me down a couple of times because, you know, they wanted me to do something different. And I ran into the guy in Annapolis in the Federal House. I was playing there, He's like, oh, Michael McHenry, I remember you. He's like, man, I used to play your music all the time in my car and in my house and all that stuff. That's well, why didn't you give me a record deal? He's like, oh, you know why you weren't marketable. He said, but you're always one of my favorite musicians. So I'm like, so I can be your favorite musician. You're in the music business, but you don't want to deal with me. So he's like, so I guess you never got signed? I said, no, I kind of gave up on it, He's like, man, you should have just done what they said, just, play the game, play the game. I'm not convinced that they'll like me until after I start playing. They kind of have to prove their love before okay, it's all right. So I have anxiety about that sometimes, but that's the only thing. I mean, I never feel like, I never get nervous about, whether or not I'm good enough. I just get nervous about whether or not they are going to like what I do or not. The last month or so, or the last couple of months maybe, I have like this really weird thing where I have to like force myself to not cancel. I mean, literally today I was going to cancel this gig. I was going to not show. I was going to call and say, look, dude, I'm sick. I can't do it. I have to force myself to do it. Like I don't want to do it. Do I really want to do this anymore? Like when I go to school and teach, I feel a relief. I feel, wow. I feel like I'm safe in there, with those kids, teaching them stuff, and, but something weird has been going on with gigs lately. Even some little gig like Middleton's or whatever, I feel kind of freaked out about it.
When does that feeling go away?
After the gig is over, but then there's another gig tomorrow. So I've been wondering, man, is this still what I want to do in my life? I don't know. Pretty weird. I don't know if I'm having a midlife crisis or what.
It's funny because like most people when they're in a midlife crisis, they start playing guitar.
Yeah, I'm thinking about giving up guitar for a midlife crisis. I keep thinking, man, I should get some job in a warehouse somewhere and just live out the rest of my days counting boxes or something. That would suck, wouldn't it?
I could not picture you doing that.
Yeah. That would suck.
Looking back on it now, it feels like a dream. Ain't it funny how life ain't never what it seemed? When I look back now, it's all too clear. But I used to wonder, how did I end up here? I'm not saying I never get lost, sad or confused. I get lonely. I get lonely, baby. Can you truly say that you're not lost and you're not confused? No, you get lonely. I know you get lonely. Peaceful is my state of mind. Happy is not far behind, no. True love will come right on time, yeah. When peaceful is your state of mind. As time moves on, I learned my lessons. What I thought was a curse turned out to be a blessing. Now I live my life the way I Sometimes I'm a winner, sometimes I lose. I'm not saying I never get lost, sad or confused. You know I get lonely, you know I get lonely. Can you truly say that you're not lost and you're not confused? I know you get lonely, I know you get lonely, baby. Peaceful is my state of mind. Happy is not far behind, no. True love will come right on time, yeah, yeah. When peaceful is your state of mind. Looking back on it now, it's just like a dream. Ain't it funny how folks ain't never what they seem? When I look back now, it's all too clear. But I used to wonder, how did I end up here? But I used to wonder, how did I end up here? I used to wonder, how did I end up here? Peaceful is my state of mind. Happy is not far behind, no. True love will come right on time, yeah. When peaceful is your state of mind, yeah. When peaceful is your state of mind, yeah, yeah. Happy is not far behind, no. True love will come right on time, yeah. When peaceful is your state of mind, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's right, yeah, yeah. Lay down your burdens by the riverside. Sweet down, sweet cherry, come on and let me ride. Lay down your burdens by the riverside.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not giving up.
Mot och chatt.